What up? Wait, we can turn that down over here. Hope y'all had a merry, happy holiday. Let me get, I don't know, what are we working on? What are we working on? One page dungeon. We could. We could. You'd love to do something self-contained? Huh. We literally have a blank document here. And I need to kill time and actually, like, stream again. What's up, people? All right, we're gonna do a couple of boring things real quick. One of the things I've been showing up a little preview on. Start making an entirely new TTRPG today? Fuck no, only to have people, like, not show up to support it? What? You must think that I'm passionate or something. Let's start out with this real quick. Good old Allegoria. Friend zone. Serif ref. Chapter. Let's see this part. Header 1. 3. Area. There we go. Lasers and feelings hack. I've not even looked at the game. Tag. That's not a diss on the game or anything like that. I already know. People that are going to be like, oh man, you must really think that this lasers and feelings thing is like not super great. And I'm like, I literally said I haven't read it. Metadata body. Here's what I like to do. List. I don't know. People sometimes ask me about setting stuff up in InDesign. List numbered. Some other shit will come up, I'm sure. Body calculation. Sure. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting on here. It's a one-page TTRPG where you have 2 stats, lasers and feelings. Ah. Neat! It always kind of seems like that's that joke where it's like, what is this game? Well, funny you ask, the game is the joke in that it says right on the tin, it is about having potatoes and carrots, and your stats are potato and carrot. And I'm like, I'm good with the silly little guy energy. I'm fine. Like, you go have that. That's all you. Me, on the other hand, I like to make something people are actually going to play at some point. If that sounds snarky, I'm sorry, I'm just being realistic. Is the plan more 1 system design, 2 adventure design, or 3 editing and chill, or something else entirely? I have no idea. Ooh, we're going by the seat of our pants on this stream. I have 0 idea. Although, one of the things I would really like to do is, I would like to get just like a very bare bones, like, this is a vanilla, like, TTRPG adventure, right? What do you mean this game is about honey and heist? Yeah, like, again, it's like, okay, people will play like Honey Heist. It's like, yeah, sure, it's got a funny premise, whatever. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, that's, I don't know, it's just not really my vibe. I'm all here for, like, you know, fun games, yeah, everything like that. But like, yeah, it's just not really my my particular taste is where that needs to go. Yeah. There we go. So we have this set up for a 5.5 by 8.5 zine. Here, we'll go back to you. Seraph Ref, or Sans Seraph. Watch, someone in chat's gonna make the goddamn Undertale joke. Hey, what up, Josh? It's a good old fantasy adventure, exploration and tactical focus, or both. I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea. There was a phrase that's been sticking in my head for a little while. I needed to kind of move away. Hang on. I needed to kind of move away from writing on Rook and the Crook stuff. I have that one. I have the guts of that basically done. I just need to like do a better job outlining, and I need to kind of get away from it for a second, and then I'll come back to it with a fresh eye. But every once in a while, there just gets to be a point where I kind of feel like progress isn't being made. And the best thing for me to do is to move away from a project for a second and then come back to it later whenever I'm like, you know, fresh mind and all that stuff. Hey, what up, Ben Bud? Make a New Year's Eve game about failed goals and resolutions? See, that's one of those things where I'm like, oh god, it just feels like, it kind of feels like, oh, okay, well, there's a game that we'll make and then never finish. It'll die as a Google Doc design. And I'm like, I'm not even really, like, I'm like, okay, what would that even be? You know? It always feels like there's these, like, joke games that people come up with is like, yeah, here's the idea. We're going to roleplay as this. And I'm like, what? And I don't think that you're being serious so much of anything, but yeah. I'm always just kind of left with this thought of like, what would that even be? Or like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, all right. The winter solstice is a fantasy-ass holiday. What can be a good start for feeling seasonal? Oh, I have no idea what it would be. I have no idea. So we're talking about like the very, very foundation of whatever the hell this would even be. I always thought that this font had potential. Yeah, it's got potential, but it also feels a bit too, I don't know, something feels a little bit odd with it. This is fine. How's the Q? Okay. How's the, yeah, I've got that right there. Okay. How about Z? Alright, I'm just gonna do this. Okay. J hangs down a little bit. So does the Q. Generally, it's not bad. There's a couple of them that are in there that are hanging down a little bit lower than what I would like. Might be able to make that work. Does it look good with Allegria? I mean, we can always change our serif font, but maybe we find a font that we're like, yeah, and then we build it around that, right? Another idea, holiday battle over. I'm not making a Christmas game. I'm not making anything Christmas. No. I try not to really do too many gimmicky things just for my own mental. It's just not really my vibe. And I feel like if I'm making something to just make it, like, yeah, it just doesn't really, yeah. What's my favorite letter of the alphabet? I guess I always thought L was cool. Maybe. Is that so wait, is that like a normal thing? Do people normally have a favorite letter of the alphabet? I guess regular. Yeah, and I'm not going to be making a full game. That's not the intent here. I don't want to take on any kind of project of that scope. And I've got so many other things going on that I would like to do instead. Why did this not? Oh, because I don't have the actual. There we go. Do that. All right, cool. I don't know that you look great with Allegria. We can find another serif font that actually does click with that. Base L Enjoyer. Can we do a Null Adventure then? I find that they're classic, underutilized, and low-level gritty play. I mean, I don't know. I don't really particularly feel inspired to write one right now. I don't really particularly feel inspired to. Maybe if something kind of like clicked, it would be like, okay, cool, yeah. How did you lose your eye? I used to volunteer at the zoo, and I got too close to a tiger cub one day, and the tiger mom came over and just plucked my eye out and chewed on it right there in front of my face. Pretty horrific ordeal, you know. Yeah. Now I prefer not to really go to the zoo these days. So yeah. What are we doing today? That's no idea. Okay. See, this is my favorite thing. I should do this like way more often. I should straight up like just leave the title as something that I'm not specifically sure that I'm gonna do, because now it's made people actually get in chat and be like, "Hey, so what are you doing today?" Please, you're autistic. You'll believe me. I have my face blown up by a firework. There you go. Let me get... God, I'm just not really vibing with that one right now. Yeah, that'll work. It is easy clickbait? I guess so. But I mean, in all reality, I'm not lying. I'm just like, hey, we're here working on shit. I don't know what, but I'm working on it. Okay. Here, I'm gonna just define some of these real quick while I'm kind of thinking about what we're gonna do. I'm gonna organize this also before this gets to be chaos. Body, formatting, headers, table. Cool. I'm gonna throw table and body core, formatting. Sweet. Bring this back up here. Body, we're gonna do this. Here, bring you down. Set a shortcut. Shift Control Space. Sweet. Underwater dungeon. I have written a couple of aquatic things, and I keep seeing them lately. I think for some reason 2024 was like the year of the aquatic dungeon, and I feel like I contributed to that. So yeah. I thought you had traded the eye for ancient arcane knowledge. Yeah, the tiger eating it was the first part in that process. Do you usually troll people when you ask? I've had varied results. There was one chick that I said the tiger story to a bar, and she just kind of looked at me and she went, You mean a tiger ate your face? I had to stop after that. I was like, I'm not going to get a better reaction than this drunk bitch going, you mean a tiger ate your face? Homebrew 5e content is always interesting. Oh, brother. Well, let's get out there. Let's look around. That's about like saying French vanilla ice cream is an exotic flavor. Do you think you'll focus on Vagabond in future content, or do you think you'll keep an eye on other systems like Pathfinder or others homebrew? I have zero interest in writing anything for Pathfinder, and I mean, like, if people like, here's the deal. There's not money in 5th edition right now, like, at all. I'm not the only one reporting on this. So let me tell you what's going on. As someone whose like income has been 5th edition for a while now, here. Just so you guys know before you see this, I am one of the most successful creators on the DM's Guild. Sweet. I'm not taking money out or anything like that right now, right? This doesn't show any information. I think the last time I took money out was over a week ago, and it was only like $10, if I remember right. Sweet. So this is what I've made in probably the last 15 days. Imagine that Shadowdark class you were working on. I still got that. I've still got a couple different Shadowdark classes. All right, here you go. Here's what I made in the last 15 days. Boom! Look at that account credit. Woo! Boy. Woo! That's rough. Oh boy. I as somebody who has, look, I have 7 classes that are all platinum bestsellers. Okay. Well, wait, hang on. I think I have 6 classes that are platinum. I don't know. I don't want to get too specifics on that. Okay, right? I have a lot of classes that are like major like bestsellers. Okay. I get coverage in a lot of, yeah. This guy is on the spectrum. Actually, we took that test last stream. Turns out they wouldn't even evaluate me. So, just to let everybody know, my 2021-2022 revenue on the DM's Guild was about $4,000 a month, like $3 to $4,000 a month. I left my full-time job to write content like on the DM's Guild, and whenever we found out the OGL situation happened, things went a little south, to say the least. I went from making about $3,000 a month, $3,000 to $4,000 a month, to making roughly $800 a month. People have lost confidence in Dungeons and Dragons as a system, and straight up, we have several people who have just left the hobby wholesale. The whole thing with the OGL, it turns out one of the big blunders with that wasn't just that people were going and checking out other games. A lot of people were fucking sick of the hobby. They got tired of it at that point and left. So, on the Dungeon Masters Guild, sales have fucking absolutely tanked. Absolutely tanked. I'm tired of hearing people try to say that, like, this website's still relevant. This web, like, yada, 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 whatever. Look, stop huffing the copium. The Dungeon Masters Guild is basically dead. The only people that are going to continue to, like, see success over here are, oh, what do you know, Keith Baker, right? So, like, Keith Baker, the guy who literally invented Eberron, is one of the only people who's, like, still seeing a lot of success over here. Chains of Asmodeus, that was still made by a pretty big third-party creator, and this has sat up here for a long time because it got a lot of push by Wizards of the Coast. Subclasses Revivified, this is a pretty big collaborative community project. One of these comes up maybe once a year, and this has still already been knocked out by Frontiers of Eberron. It's overrun by AI. Basically, at this point, yeah, people have essentially abandoned the DM's Guild. And if you haven't, right, cool, I'm not talking about you, right? On the DM's Guild, the majority of people who were originally here have left. If you bought Vagabond to support me, even if you never play because you're already in 3 5e campaigns, would that help? If you bought Vagabond to support me, I mean, yeah, it would help. You know? But basically, it's like this. I am not seeing the market continue to follow D&D 2024. And this is my experience, okay? I want you all to know this is my experience. What this means right now is this 258, that is what I've made in the last, like, 15 days, okay? Now, I have a ton of products that are up here. I have a ton of stuff that is available for print. And by the way, I'm also making more per sale on a lot of my products because I'm a one-man team, okay? I keep most all of the royalties. So I also know that I am taking home a bigger piece of the motherfucking pie. And I have also done a lot of layout on a bunch of other products. So I'm also getting a cut from stuff like that, right? You guess D&D Beyond is a place to be. There's no money getting made over on D&D Beyond, right? If we're just talking about sales and like third-party content and who's like actually making money right now, or where if there's money getting made in D&D, if there's money getting made in D&D, I guess it's only getting made by Wizards of the Coast. Like, this is not enough to sustain anybody full-time. It's not. I'm able to go full-time because I've been successful with crowdfunders, right? My D&D content that I make is not fucking solid. It's just not. I don't know what else to say. I've heard other people report that they keep hearing about system fatigue going on in their own communities, which is like, okay, I guess if that's happening, then okay. But yeah, in general, people are just not buying third-party content. Now, wait, Humble Galleypot. Actually, I just remembered. I was thinking about D&D Beyond as someone completely third-party, not a partner. Yeah, okay, there's no place for entry-level designers to make money on D&D Beyond. 100%. They have absolutely closed that door off to people who were already successful over on Kickstarter. They did not want to roll that out the gate just by allowing a bunch of independent creators to hop on board. It's fucking wild. So I don't really know what Wizards of the Coast thinks is going to really happen with the D&D Beyond architecture, but I will say straight up, I don't really see people that are even remotely interested in supporting D&D 2024 content right now. If you are, well, that is you, right? I'm seeing the general audience that seems to have system fatigue for D&D 2024. There are people who are playing it. I'm not saying they aren't. What I am saying is that people are definitely not playing it in the same way that we saw back in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, right? I also know something else that was happening back then was the pandemic, right? Gotcha. I understand. There's so many other things that could be thrown into context into what all was going on. Even before the pandemic, my sales numbers were better than this right here. Everybody's sales numbers were better than this right here. So I am just, what I have heard from other creators as well who sell their content online for D&D is that generally people are feeling like there is either, number one, people are prepping for some kind of major recession. Number two, maybe political instability is causing people to be a bit more reluctant with their spending. Maybe that's a thing. I tend to think that, like, that's a little bit of a take, but whatever. It's a take that's gotten thrown out there. Number three seems to be that people are just overall not enthusiastic about the new system core changes. Yeah, it bit the third-party creators. Yeah. This is, like, again, I've had a lot of success. I have been very, very successful in this industry. I have not seen the kind of show out for D&D content in... I don't know. I think the last time that I had a major like sales boost was whenever Jenny D, literally the biggest or second biggest D&D channel, covered my merchant class, right? Jenny D covered that class. It did gangbusters. That's it. And you have to account for piracy. I genuinely don't think that that's happening in all that extreme of an amount to where I should even consider that to be a reason why I'm not getting sales. Have I talked with creators for other games that would answer whether it's D&D or a global thing? I will tell you right now, it is not every TTRPG. Because there is a TTRPG that seems to have a community of people throwing money at motherfucking everything getting made for it. And that is Shadowdark. Shadowdark independent Kickstarters are fucking popping off. So, like, people are supporting those. I genuinely think we very well are seeing... We very well are possibly seeing the final year of D&D's hyper-relevance in the TTRPG scene. I like, it's not a kind of thing that I'm saying because of any kind of Hasbro hate or whatever. And because I am who I am, I know people are going to say, no matter what I say here, it comes with the bias of Hasbro hate. To those people, I don't know what to say other than, like, why you watch my content anymore. But basically it's like this. I genuinely have not had an impact or like a real discussion going on with Hasbro or anything affecting anything I'm making for months, if not years. Well, no, like genuinely this last year, like I went through and looked at D&D 2024 and I was like, well, this doesn't feel like much, and it feels like they're reselling you the material again. And it seems like that is pretty much everybody else's impression with it as well. So, like, at some point, I'm just going to let one of those sit, and if somebody makes a response video about, like, Indestructoboy said this on a stream, I'm going to be like, I was speaking off the cuff in generalities, and I'm so sick and tired of not being able to speak just, like, you know, plainly or whatever. So basically, it's like this, okay? Yes, competition is good. It's great for the consumers. Yes. Wait, have I reviewed Shadowdark? You don't see any big creators covering it? What? Yeah. I not only reviewed Shadowdark, I did a full breakdown of, like, why the OSR gets... Okay. There was a really weird thing that came up whenever Shadowdark started really popping off, and that was that people suddenly came from out of nowhere and were trying to say that, like, everything in the OSR was like right-wing Nazi bullshit. And I was like, cool. So that's somebody who doesn't know dog shit about what this movement actually is. And yet they're posting up this opinion that is just getting prepackaged, consumed by a bunch of people who don't want to think, and then like spat back out. Right. So I did a video where I was like, look, we got to think more critically. And like, whenever we just see somebody post something on Twitter, and like, I see this happen in my community where people will see something posted on Twitter and they're like, wow, that's my opinion now. And it's like, why? Why is that your opinion? Did you see any evidence for that? Well, no. So basically like this. Your header and header. Yeah. Right now, I think the thing that is really, really popping off, and this is exciting, is I think that the OSR and system neutral stuff is about to enter into a new golden age. Now, here's the deal with that, okay? If you are an OSR creator, the best thing that you can do right now is shut the fuck up about any of the stupid shit you said in the past, okay? Chill out and try to represent like the OSR. Don't try to make claim over it, but just try to look at it and be like, hey, you know what? This could be success. Wait, who's saying that? You just want to talk? Wait, about like the OSR being full of right-wing assholes or something like that? Just because there's like 2 or 3 people who I guess have a personality online, and therein people seem to think like, oh, they're the entire representative of this entire like art form over here. That's not the way it works. Okay? There's a couple of assholes. But there's a couple assholes in the 5e scene as well. There's a couple assholes in the Pathfinder community. There's a couple assholes. There's assholes everywhere. Okay? And trust me, if you don't think there are, you've always got one right behind you. Dad joke of the stream, right? So, There's assholes everywhere, okay? That does not mean that an entire community or anybody who supports something is an asshole. I'm going to say this straight up. I saw this happening already over on Blue Sky. We don't need to turn that place into another toxic cesspit like what Twitter was. But just so you guys know, I hate being vague about anything. So like PDM, Professor Dungeon Master just did a video on Lamentations of the Flame Princess thing. Okay. Now, here's the deal. I say Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and suddenly people are going to be like, oh, wait, whoa, that's that scary game that has like all the Nazis and stuff, right? Okay. Lamentations of the Flame Princess is a basic expert, like it's any kind of other OSR game. The thing with it is, James Raggi is a free speech absolutist, and that tends to rub people the wrong way. He has also hired Zach Sabbath on projects, which rubs people the wrong way. Okay? People are going to form their opinions on that. But to go after PDM for covering a Lamentations of the Flame Princess thing, holy shit, get a life. Go touch grass. This is like, oh my god. PDM is one of the nicest dudes in this entire community. Seeing like people trying to start shit with the guy, I was blown away. I'm like, cool. No better way to bury your career than to just go after one of the most like pretty much universally beloved dudes. Like, oh my god, what a dipshit move. So here's the deal. Not everybody is super plugged in to the micropolitic game that people are trying to play. PDM is Professor Dungeon Master, Dungeon Craft here on YouTube. So not everybody is as plugged in to the micro wannabe politics of the TTRPG scene. And I'm going to be real. If you tried to explain like anything in the D&D scene, like that sounds like a controversy to somebody in your day-to-day life, they would be like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Why should I care? Like in all reality. Look, like there is rough shit that happens out there, but like, dude, I am really hoping that like for 2025, we get a real simmer down, and it's like, hey, guess what? People just made cool stuff. God, I'm so much more looking forward to that than the constant nonstop feed of people trying to like outrage each other to further their clout over on social media. Like it's wild. It's absolutely wild. I'm looking forward to 2025 being a year where we can make a lot of really cool shit. Yeah, D&D drama sounds like the silliest thing to be involved in. Absolutely. It is. It is ridiculous. I'm like, I keep seeing it happen, and I'm just like, cool. Let me see. Did you just release a product? Oh, what do you know? How funny! Yeah, it's so wild. And it also seems like new social media people are trying to like drag up old dramas and shit. Anyways, not gonna get in on that. But so here's the deal. If this sounds tantalizing or it sounds like, ooh, there's a big scandal going on, yada yada yada. Find a band you really like, and instead of watching the cycle, right, the cycle of misery that continues to happen, go listen to one of their albums, just put it on and like chill out, you know, and come back to it later with a level head. Because I'm gonna be real, this competition for who's the best person in the TTRPG scene, holy shit, I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted with people who are over 30 years old, still out here trying to act like this is a high school drama club. It's fucking absurd. You just want to make custom characters and roll dice. Yep, most people do. Most people that actually play the games do, you know. You should have faked the scandal to boost your Vagabond sales. Damn, what could I have done? Was there something we could have hidden? Like, I don't know, guys. Someone, I was like, No, never mind. We're gonna let that one go. Yeah, and like, I'm so ready to get back to the point of where like we can just make jokes and not have to fucking worry about some psycho over on like social media grabbing that clip and being like, that's why this person's a bad person. You shouldn't support them. Oh my Christ. I'm so exhausted with it. I lost my other eye. Damn. Maybe that'll be that'll be the next like live stream. That's like the next live stream title, maybe. Yeah. Okay, we need to do. I want to make this one sans serif. Ooh, we gotta turn that back up. Yes. Antonio stole my other eye. That's why I was just talking with Pointy Hand earlier. Careful now. I don't want to be careful. I'm sick of being safe. This is the other thing, man. Like, I am so ready to not have to not feel like everything's going to come down to this. Like, wow, you should really be careful about what you got to say online because you never know who's gonna. And I'm like, whoever that person is who's like coming after me or like who has this hard on for like hounding me or whatever. Like, yeah, Twitter's watching. That's the thing is I'm like, holy shit, I just don't care anymore. Absolutely come at me. I'm exhausted with it. I think we should all just like try to play things again and actually like engage with these games instead of posting about how you're a better person for what the fuck ever. Like, oh my god, it's so exhausting. Just record 2 clips repeating opposite hot takes, easy money. Maybe, right? Maybe like, oh god, what's the one here where we say like, hey, women, no, I can't even. I was just like, why even? Oh Christ. I love how it's like, yeah, I'm sick of this stuff. How are we starting this off? Misogyny. No holds barred, all right? You love clip art. Yeah, how do we get into this? Well, you know, the TTRPG scene before the women got around. Oh Christ. But see, that's the thing, is like, I know I can joke about that. But the crazy thing is, in this scene, I have legitimately had people micro-examine things that I've said in videos to try and make up controversies about me. Like, holy shit, it is absurd. What's Taron working on? We're still trying to figure that out. Just keep saying each subclass is the best and the worst. Farm these morons. Maybe that's the thing, right? You clipped it. Yeah, thank you. This is another kind of wild thing I saw. So like, I guess I had this thought, and I was like, I could post something about this, but I was also like, nah, I just don't really want to. But I did reach out. I talked to Tria Monk the other day. It was just like, dude, I mean, it's crazy to me that D&D is the one game that seems to have response video necessity. Like, what? Make a game about text fonts? Make a game about text fonts. What? Anyways, I was like, whoa, wait, have we gotten to the point where like is that where D&D is at right now? Because that sounds like the kind of thing I would never want to get involved with. Like, oh my god, I don't even want to touch whatever's going on. I just heard that like apparently people disagree about the power of a subclass, and this has required now a 3-video response chain. And I'm like, I love playing games like Merkborg or like Shadowdark, where people are just like, haha, that's cool, and then move on. I don't know that, like, response threading videos or what the hell ever. I'm like, guys, to anybody who is not, like, in the community, this looks like, not that it looks bad, right? People make the content they want to make. It's all good. But to most people who are, like, maybe considering the hobby or whatever, and they're like, hey, I want to follow some, who are some TTRPG things I should definitely follow. And then if they start looking into builds and they get suggested, like, drama about certain builds or whatever, I'm like, oh. And again, not that anybody's in the... I basically agree with the idea that there should be a little bit of pushback in regards to the way that the games are discussed, but that's just because some of the misinformation does need to get combated. But there's definitely misinformation, and then there's encouraging just shitty behavior. Hang on. Here we go. I still think the turd stick video is one of the best things that Chris has ever done. Yeah, Chris Tree Bug destroys new artificer rework with facts and logic. Yeah. It's like, there are... I saw this happening the other day, too. Like, one of the funniest things I've heard after the OGL situation was somebody was like, you know, I still think that it's really weird that suddenly after the OGL situation, TTRPG news suddenly became a thing. And it was like, huh, yeah, I guess that's interesting. Like, it seemed like suddenly after the OGL situation, people felt like they could report on things in this tiny industry like they were big news stories, and it just hasn't really worked. You need to ask, the answer to clarify your sanity. You're not saying people should ignore racism. I'm not saying that at all. No. Okay, hang on. If that stuff happens, it's one thing, right? But the problem is we have so much false flagging happening in this scene because people are overly eager to try and seem like really good people. Like, that's it. I'm not, like, that's the deal, though, is, like, you have to recognize that sometimes some of that stuff that happens is like, yeah, that's not good. And then you have to move the fuck on. You have to. There are people who are, like, weaponizing, like, here's my deal, okay? So, like, we have definitely seen alt-right grifters, okay? We know what that looks like, okay? But we also have a problem where we have puritanical progressivism that's kicking in and making this seem just as fucking poisonous. And, like, my thing has been, like, if I see something that I feel is, like, heinous actual harassment, like, something that I feel somebody should step in on at some point, I'll cover it. Or I did cover it, because I think that the coverage would help in some capacity. But I also learned in covering that, I learned about YouTube's policies regarding what they do in those situations. So it's not actually as helpful as we would hope it would be. So, yeah. Controversy gets people involved because it's happening in real time, so there's a story to follow, whereas learning about the game is homework that you have to get to later. Not like... I think homework is a overstatement for, like, 99% of games. To most people, the hesitance that comes with learning a new TTRPG literally all comes down to they remembered how complicated it felt to learn 5th edition, and they're hesitant to learn something else because they think it would be that rough again, right? And typically the more invested people are into, like, knowing 5th edition, it's harder to get them to move away from it, right? And it's even harder to get them out of the mindset that 5th edition instills in them. This is something I experienced whenever we were doing stuff with Vagabond, and the only way I know really how to describe what it is And it's funny because Mike Merles actually liked the tweet that I wrote about it. Is 5e brain rot, and there are symptoms to this. Let me see here. No, we don't need a tab. We need a first line indent. There we go. And then we need. Thank you. New character style, bold. That's odd. I wonder what happened with this Allegria, because it is not. Maybe extra bold italic. I was talking about this with Pablo Depina, and we were talking about how Allegria has like, it's such a good looking font, but it has a really odd glyph or style set. Here we go. Hang on. Yes, there we go. Then from there, yeah, there we go. Sweet. Discord bot's broken, by the way. You only realize you're live from the clip of the bin button. No. I've heard from people that they get bothered by getting pinged with the everyone thing on Discord, so I've been trying not to do it as much. I know that there's people who, you know, they really like getting the Discord pings. It super helps them out and everything. I tried assigning this with roles. People didn't engage with it. I tried doing a bunch of different shit. So, like, the only thing that's really worked is I was just like, okay, if the thing that's not going to make people upset is that I just go live, cool. That feels like less of a process, too. Turn on your notifications for me. There's a whole bunch of different systems for that involved. But the one that people were continuously telling me was pissing them off was Discord pings. So, yeah. You could do the bullets. That's why most of the friend group that picked it. I had never played D&D before. Like a server I was in with my dungeon master, or a DM for months, kept misgendering. Was weird with female players and kept trying to push Jordan Peterson stuff. You can understand why we asked. Well, yeah, but like that's one instance, right? And this is the other thing: is like if you've had bad experiences, it's like, okay, that was a bad experience, and we kind of have to be understanding that those bad experiences are not as that should not dictate the entirety of how we view people. That becomes paranoia, right? And then people get upset because they're like, well, what are you telling me? That, like, I shouldn't really, yada, yada. And it's like, holy fucking shit. So, I think that the best way to look at a lot of this stuff is to basically think like, hey, that was a rough experience. That did not go great. But you know what? That doesn't mean that everybody's like that. And try to move forward thinking about, like, things will get better at the end of it or something like that, right? Like, yeah. Hey, what up, Delver? You made a new style video and quickly learned that it was not for you. History and lore of the hobby is what felt better to you, and you feel you agree about oversaturation of quote-unquote news. Yeah. Do you guys remember that, like, TTRPG News Kickstarter project last year? Where it was like some of the guys that were involved with College Humor were looking at doing like tabletop news as a channel. This thing raised like over $100,000. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, this is wild. Okay, so where is the... When was their last video? Over a year ago. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, this is dead. Where was the Kickstarter? Alright, sweet. You guys have never heard about this? Okay, watch this. So, this was... Here we go. This Kickstarter funded for this project called Tabletop News. This was supposed to be like they were going to make a really professional looking, like, kind of G4 style, like, show covering a bunch of stuff that was coming up in the tabletop industry, right? It seemed like a lot of the people that were involved with it had cred, like they were bigger on College Humor or like other, whatever. I heard about this and I just kind of fucking moved on with it, and then eventually I heard about oh hey, what up, Crow? And then I eventually heard about it as like this thing isn't happening anymore, and I was like, wait, what? So this Kickstarter went up and raised over $169,000, right? This Kickstarter went up October 20. Wait. Oh, they updated. It's been too long without an official update. Okay, here you go. A couple of times on Discord, but that's not a platform everyone. We've been got support for the series of incredible milestones. Wait. May. Okay. Wait, what? Wait. Okay, basically, the way I was going to cap this off was like $100,000 plus over here on Kickstarter, and then like 8,000 subscribers here, and like their video views are like 208, 93K, which is like pretty big. Oh Christ, and it's the video covering the fucking AI art thing. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, I throw you guys a fucking softball. All right. And then the rest of it's like 103 views. Hasbro layoffs. So now they're covering Hasbro, whatever, 103,000 views, right? But otherwise, if they're not covering D&D drama, it's basically nothing, right? Who ran the Kickstarter? I have no idea. I don't really know. Yeah. The GNS style of informative content. Yeah. Right. News show to tell us the tabletop news got canceled because I had no idea. Yeah. And like they got away from tabletop news, and it just kind of seemed like a thing where they didn't really have a direction to it, and they like haven't made content for over a year. So now I didn't, because the last time I had heard about this was before October 18th. So let me see here. We got some for the support of the series and the incredible milestones we were to achieve. Our goal was to bring to life 10 weekly episodes of news centered around tabletop gaming, big and small, from all different parts of the hobby, and a monumental task we would never have done without you. Because of your support, Tabletop News provided jobs for over a dozen people each week in a time when work wasn't easy to come by. Thanks to you, the show delivered. Okay, we saw us reach nearly 1 million people while uploading clips from Instagram. Okay, highlighted what happened. The world, not to mention the digital landscape, have changed significantly over the past couple of years, and the Spider-Verse efforts to entice future episode sponsors as well, potentially partner with the pre-existing tabletop channels. We couldn't find the means to continue supporting the series after episode 10. And while this was it's certainly many things, frustrating, disappointing, etc., it does not take away from the unbelievable effort and accomplishment. Okay. Well, we won't give up that one day a world-class series. Okay. We're taking our turn and are excited to hand the dice to the next team of dreamers out there with a wild idea. They gave up? 10 videos weekly? Here's the deal. You could do this. Like, they had the... Like, okay. Here's the deal. We were already... As far as tabletop news goes and all this stuff, okay, this is a small industry. And once you start getting out of D&D 5e, it gets even smaller, right? If you're looking at trying to fund a crew with dozens of jobs and everything like that, you can't do that on 100K. You can't do that with $169,000. It's like news about news. Yeah, kind of, right? It became this thing where it was like kind of like self-cannibalizing. And I mean, like, most people aren't really going to this. They're usually going to like TED, right? Like TED or PDM mostly have this stuff covered, and that's about all the coverage you kind of need in a lot of cases. And most places like this aren't covering all tabletop news. They're just covering the Wizards of the Coast stuff, but they're trying to do it through a better camera. If Chad is looking for a cool TTRPG web series, Quinn's Quest is great. Oh yeah. You'd have to showcase on content rather than breaking news akin to modern 24-hour news cycle. Yep, exactly. And that's the thing. Not a lot of these people really know how to look. Okay, in this scene, you have to do a lot of reading if you want to like cover a lot of content. And this is so funny. There are not enough people who are willing to actually sit down and read your goddamn book, despite the fact that they will promote the fuck out of it. They're just like, oh, okay, yeah, here's the thing, right? You're this person over here. I'm going to promote your deal. And it's like, what is it, though? Do you know that what they wrote in the book? Like, oh my god. Yeah. So, hearing that this has, like, is just non-existent, I didn't wait. What? Is this person going to be like, hey, I don't like this one person. I'm very disappointed you featured them. I don't know who the fuck this is. This did in our last video was posted 8 months ago. Yeah, I think you could consider that dead. $169,000 to... That's wild. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's, I don't think that there's enough people who are interested in watching, like, actual play correspondence, to where you need a team to do that stuff. Finding the humanity in horror, and they interviewed... See, this is the thing. This is kind of a part of it, how I knew that these guys were a bit of, like, an AstroTurf plant. Because, like, it wasn't hard for them to get Matthew Lillard, right? Matt Mercer. I mean, these guys had money and they had connections already to do this stuff. But, like, they just didn't keep doing it. These guys were here to promote D&D. You think what they said is that the promotional material featured that person, but the actual shows did not? Wait, you think the inherent flaw is that there isn't actually a lot happening in the sphere in the grand scheme of things when it comes to clickable news? I think what they said is that the promotional material featured that person, but the actual news didn't. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, a Critical Role in D20 already have talkback shows with the actual cast. Yeah, I legitimately think part of this was an intended, like... I mean, do I have any evidence of this? No. This is purely based on vibe, alright? The fact that they were like, yeah, we're a TTRPG, like, thing, and yet they're over here kind of only promoting, like, I guess, what is this, Rattle? Okay, so, like, I guess that's a board game thing. Adventure Quest, so they're promoting a Critical Role deal, right? Creating metal dice, okay. Dice Envy Parade? What? Must have accessory. Okay. Lorcana. I don't know, man. I think that they were trying to, like, break in, but, like, I just don't really think that it... I think they tried to start so big, and there was just zero interest. Every Kickstarter either has a big YouTube channel or is going to pay YouTubers to talk about it. Yeah, but that's the deal, is, like, they're going to pay them once they're up over that, like, 50K sub count, right? Unless that person has a lot of trust, which, hey, your boy here has got a lot of good trust. I have a lot of good trust because people have seen the way that I do reviews, and they know that I actually fucking read the book. I'm not just doing an at a glance and then making a 30-second ad spot about it, right? So, like, that people know that, like, I have a really good turnover rate. If I talk about something, then, like, more likely than not. Okay, here's what I would say. If you're a YouTuber, you can count on, if you promote something, about 1% of your audience going over and supporting the thing. Roughly about 1%, okay? So for me, that is, so I'm at 20,000 subs. So that is, like, what, 200 people? Not a crazy amount, okay? This is why typically for, like, a 30-second ad spot, I'll charge about $350. Like, yeah, I can say, like, dollar per person I think I could convert. Yeah, sure. If I do a sponsored video, though, that's a whole other deal. I can demand a lot more for that because if I go through and do a review of a thing, people know that I actually went through it. Like, people know that I have done my research, and I will expose them to something in my review that they did not know they appreciated about games typically whenever they go through, right? This is why, by the way, despite the fact that I am under 50,000 subs over here on YouTube, that Critical Role reached out to me and got me one of the early preview runs of Daggerheart that I have over there in a box. Like, because I have cred, right? So because people trust my word, I can do that conversion better than a lot of other people could. So if I do a promotion, it's, yeah. Now, there are people who legitimately just have that big of numbers to where it doesn't matter what they say about it. The fact that they mention your product at all means that people are just going to go buy it just because it got a spot in, like, a video, you know? So, like, there's those people can demand much higher pay and all that stuff, but whenever it comes to me actually covering, like, a system, I've accepted one sponsored review for a system core, and that was on the Zweihander stuff, and that was to make it a priority, because, like, I've had Zweihander on my docket for a while, but they needed it out before a Kickstarter thing. So, yeah. A lot of returning viewers do not press the subscribe button. Wait, over here? If you're like Taron and break out the highlighters, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, you know? Okay, if I was to say that I had a complaint, let me see here. There's one certain game that, like, if I was to say I had a complaint about, hang on. I love this game, Merkborg. My book cam is all fucked up. Okay, I love Merkborg to death. Hang on, I'll fix this. My book cam is all screwed up. Let me get that. I don't know why I repeated that. You all know it. You all can see it. I'm gonna fix it. Configure. Let's turn down that exposure. Right. Let's bring that focus in. Aha! Oh, nice, crisp and clean. Sweet. Okay. So if I was to say that I had, like, one issue kind of going on with Merkborg, there we go. It would be the fact that, yeah, let me get that remote out of here. It would be the fact that I can't really highlight this well since it's all glossy print. Now, this has basically been fixed in the fact that they have their bare bones version of it, but, you know, it is a thing that I'm like, ugh, God, I want to be able to highlight this. This is a book that is, for me, really hard to take notes in, and I am very, very big on taking notes in my TTRPG books. Okay, like, whenever I'm trying to understand, like, I just need to see what the mechanic is like, I will go through and highlight just the mechanic to be able to just focus in on what text I feel is absolutely 100% necessary to know. And I didn't go through the entire book on this. I got through this for the review and decided, all right, I can tell that this game isn't for me, and move the fuck on. So if a book isn't highlightable, I kind of get it a little bit about it. Although I will show you. This is how you know this was not. Yeah, there you go. Okay. See, whenever I actually, like, want to grok a system, I'm going to go through it with a highlighter. I know some people absolutely hate this right here, but I'm gonna just be real with you. I own this book. It's my property. I'm gonna do with it what I want. And I think if you're a bit too paranoid on treating your books like the tools they are intended to be, you're not really appreciating the book for what it is supposed to be. Vagabond dice? You guys have seen these. I've shown these off. Wait, have you guys not seen these? Wait, you should have just had... Wait. You should have that BHH just floating in the corner on all the book cams. That BHH? Wait, what do you... Huh? BHH. Oh, Basic Heroes Handbook. Okay, I was like, wait, what? Oh, you're acronyming my goddamn books. Yeah. So... Woo! Oh, I guess I haven't really shown off some of these yet. So, Basic Heroes Handbook, right? Oh la la! Oh, actually having it in print is so goddamn cool. Ah, right? Now, there's some print issues that have been resolved ever since this version of it. Just to let you guys know. So, I am aware of some of these issues. See the heroes thing up here? That actually got printed too close to the edge of the page. So we're reworking some of the stuff with the bleed. And this is like very, very first print run. So we're going through and actually getting that stuff cleaned up. And yeah. This is another book I actually just got in the other day, which is like super dope. I'm looking forward to getting into. Johan Noor worked on it. Plastibu worked on it. Like, and a bunch of other artists that I wasn't really familiar with have worked on this. It's a, like, disgustingly cool looking, like, TTRPG dungeon. But yeah. You have 4 copies too? Hell yeah! Yeah, we are. What up? What? Isometric diagrams, your beloved. Hey, if you like isometric diagrams, I got you covered in here. Oh, one of the other things. If you don't have a set of dice, guess what? You don't need it because the book is a set of dice. Ooh, there's the D20 table right there. Oh! So, like, I can take a pencil and just go, ooh, what did I roll? I rolled a 14. All right, cool, right? Just roll them up. And that's a 12. Okay, cool. So you got that. And then if you're like, hey, but Taron, Vagabond has other dice as well. Guess what? That's at the bottom corner of the page. You need a D8. What'd you roll? A 5. Woo! Worked my ass off on these. I'm really, really stoked for people to actually get them in hand. Yeah. Woo! Soon, yes. I guess there's a thing that I can actually tease. Hang on. There's a thing that I can tease. Here we go. All right. We have this one. Basically, we have the first proof that's coming in for Downward Spiral of the Lost. So we have our first entire print run of zines basically ready to go. This is the one that won the 5-room dungeon jam. And I don't know that I'm going to make that a normal thing, but I really like the idea of, like, hey, in the future, maybe the coolest thing that we could get going for the dungeon jam is that the winner is the winner gets an entire print run of the zines that will sell and distribute. They get this kind of percentage, you know, whatever. I think that this could be super cool. We would get content. I mean, that's a big deal for me. My company, we could really use the content. And if we could continue to keep getting sponsors like we did last time, that'd be fucking sick. Being able to even just have Free League on board, like, oh my god. Next jam win. We did the jam in March, right? Yeah, and this was some work getting this to actually work out. We've had to change some things about the format of the book because Pablo originally wrote this to print on what do you call it, lexicograph and A5. So I think he printed it on lexicograph and A5, and we needed to print it on 8.5 by 5.5. Look, you got content for you, my man. Just got to get those consultation streams. Yeah. About the consultation streams, I would love to be doing them, but we haven't had people submitting content to it. I had it open up to Patreon sponsors, and I think it's been long enough to where I can now officially open it back up to people, to the general public. Quarterly jams. I think you vastly overestimate how much money I have for prizes. I would love to do something like that. That is like cool content that like I think basically everybody had a good time doing it. But it takes cash. It takes overhead to run something like that. Prizes, yada yada yada. And this last time was a big logistical learning experience. You think we need prizes? Yeah. Yes, I do, because otherwise people don't enter. Yeah, that would wind up being a thing where, like, is the Vagabond class too big? What, for a consultation stream? No. I think I had a limit on it for 1,000 words. I've had people that tried to submit their entire like world building thing into a consultation stream, and I was like, my boy, no. I don't know how anybody really thought that like this would work out. But like if we were gonna cover a bunch of content, and like I'm like, hey, we want to cover this in like 15 minutes, and you submit to me a 50,000 word document, I'm gonna tell you that's not gonna work, and you can't submit in the future because you didn't listen to the instructions. And God, yeah. Do you ever see adding people to your design team in the future? If I had money, that would be really cool. The first person I would probably want to hire would be Maxwell. I would want to hire Maxwell because we need a lead artist, and I would like to have somebody on salary who is just constantly churning out the artwork, right? Yeah, I would love to actually be able to hire on Maxwell as a full-time like Land of the Blind employee. One thing I got to do before I do that, though, before I even consider hiring an employee, is I got to make sure that I can get my medical insurance through Land of the Blind. And then once I can, and I can offer it to other people, then I'm starting to look at we're going to hire employees. Because of America, makes it pretty rough to get goddamn, yeah. Yes. We don't need bullets, right? There we go. The tab. I'm trying to remember how we did this. I know a lot of people prefer doing numbered lists as like the numbered section up here. This numbered list tool is so goddamn confusing. Axiom's got the right idea with those prizes. You'd be down for a quarterly jam if the prize was like 1 to 2 hours of your time to go through the entry and polish it for actual publishing, for example. What if like the prize was but see, this is the other thing with that is I've had people who how do I put it? I have people who also are like, well, but like I can do my own layout. Or like I don't need that. I just don't, you know what I mean? How you ever looking into providing insurance before hiring? It is here in America, like you have to do it. Not that you have to, but like I don't feel right starting up a company that can't provide medical insurance whenever it's so goddamn complicated to get medical insurance in this country. Okay. I think, hang on, I want to test something real quick. Right. Let's see the tab a little bit further. Ribbit. Right. Continues and aha, there we go.
Dwarf goblins.
Lego, hey, welcome, welcome. There we go. God damn it, I really hate hyphenations. So basically, for real, I mean, it's medical insurance. It's the kind of thing that, like, I would like to get a full-time job. Like, I'm already doing pretty well regarding, like, TTRPG content and, like, having made my own company and everything like that. But, like, I would like to be able to, like, get a full-time job just so that I have medical insurance. And not just state-sponsored stuff. There's so many perks to it that, like, with getting a job, I'm like, well, you know, I mean, that's... Yeah. If only we had universal healthcare. Yeah, I know, we missed that shot with Bernie. Well, okay, hang on. Right, I need to... Okay, hang on. Oh, crap, I forgot how to set this. Okay, that works there. Redefine. And then we're gonna do this. Bullets. Nope. Hang on. Nope. Hang on. Cancel. I know what's up. First line indent. Boom. And then boom. Boom. Got it. Now... Well. There we go. Yeah. Well, they don't want the advice/consultation. That's more on them than you, to be honest. I myself and plenty of folks would love the help. Yeah. I would also like to... I would like to be able to do that as, like, a consultation thing. Because it sounds like that's a thing that people want. There's literally 0 ways to get actual learning happening in this industry. Okay, so here, let's do this. Straight up. Somebody brave in the fucking chat. Send me on Discord something that is 1,000 words or less, that is TOS friendly, and I'll do a consult on it right now. You gotta run and do it real quick. Whoever the fuck it is, whoever I get the first one from. Let me see. My guy, I had to dip out early to remind you to ask you about the Vagabond test sessions coming up. It's on your list of games to get into next year. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Delbert. I will get back to you. Yeah, get demos going soon. Yeah, someone just messaged it. Oh wait, shit. What happened? Hey, there we go. All right, cool. What'd you send me, Onyx? Maven. Okay. Oh, Onyx. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, I got it. Maven got, or Onyx got to me first. All right. Well. All right, sweet. Let's see how quick we can get through it, and I'll show you guys what I'm thinking about doing. Okay. I have this on dark mode. Okay. Zoom. Sweet! Yes, you absolutely obeyed the prompt. If they're shorter, I can take a look at it. Here we go. Bring this one up. Okay, and also a thing that would be helpful is if you do submit it to me in something like this, to make sure please make sure the other thing is, like, unless it's apparent to me what it is you want me to like review, ask me for something specific to like take a look at, right? All right, so tell people to stop sending stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let me take a look at this. I'm familiar with it because it's Vagabond and I made the damn thing, right? So Maven, all right, so first off, one thing right off rip, I don't know immediately what it is just from the name Maven, but it's just a thought. Masters of their craft and adepts in battle, Mavens challenge the world around them through their knowledge and magical like. Okay, so it's going to be like a spell sword, I'm assuming. Mickey Mouse and Fantasia. Wasn't Mickey Mouse just a wizard? Maybe? Okay, so Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, so like kind of a transmutationalist kind of a thing. Maven is not really Maven's not really the first thing that comes to my mind, but then again, I'm also seeing that you have Ruby on here as as an inspiration. So it could be that like it's a thing associated with Ruby that I'm just not, I don't know anything about. You figured out the TTRPG stuff, yeah. The Maven is a high offense, high utility support, create opportunities and items with your magic. Okay, support your allies in battle. Okay, casting use craft. So it's gonna feel like an alchemist. Okay, we got that. Okay, so we have a artificer-esque kind of vibe, I guess. Generally getting in line with the game. Okay. Alright, cool. So spellcraft, arcane alchemy, equivalent exchange. Okay, so it's the Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, we're looking at essentially a transmutation like expert here. 4 spells with craft. 1 must always be mend. Okay. Right off rip, is there a reason you chose mend and not forge? Because like the way I would... Oh, wait. You can spend materials as if you had spent mana equal to 25 silver per mana when you cast or focus on a spell. Okay. And there's no limit to this. Only just what you have on hand. I would highly suggest that this still has a limit. At least... So, here's the exchange that you have here. The resource that's on is really, really fantastic, but there's nothing preventing a first level character from like scrapping a bunch of shit and just making this like absolutely insane. I would still limit this just to like keep it in check. Mend appears later. Okay. I would still limit this just to keep it in check with like what other spellcasters are doing. The most you can spend, the most amount of materials you can spend to cast a spell this way is equal to 25 silver times XYZ, right? Like that's kind of the way I would look at doing that. You gain the Deft Hands perk, all right, so you can use as a bonus action, and you can craft or scrape scrap an item with the use action. I think that's supposed to be scrap. Okay. Being able to scrap an item with the use action and have that on a no limitation, right? Like a no cap spell mana caster is super powerful. Like this is the kind of person that's going to go through and literally clean a dungeon and then come back through and just blast a 20 mana fireball. You know, you're right. No, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, this is part of the reason why I would say we have a like cap on that, right? You can spend a study die as if you had spent mana equal to half your Maven level. Ooh, okay. You can spend a study die. Okay, so this would probably say when you cast a spell, you can spend a study die to provide mana for that casting equal to half your Maven level. It's kind of where I would think that needs to go, because that the grammar in this feels a little bit odd. Because I think I can intuit what you want this to do, but I don't think it's doing what you want it to do, if that makes sense. Now, When you take the cast action, you can transmute non-magical objects that fit within the area of effect of that cast into another object of equal or lesser value. Okay, when you take the cast action, you can transmute non-magical objects that fit within the area of effect of the cast into another object of equal or lesser value. So in order to do this, you're still having to provide the materials up here to adjust the delivery of it. And of equal or lesser value to the item that is currently being transmuted. Huh. Do I want suggestion or edit permission? Oh, you can go through, like, you got the VOD right here, right? So you just roll a study die, then you have the result as mana. No, that's the thing, is it doesn't call for rolling the study die, right? So if we're reading it, it says you spin the study die, and then it gives you mana equal to your Maven level to use on a casting. It's basically the way that I'm intuiting this. You're not rolling that die at any point, right? You're spinning it. If you did half your Maven level plus the result on the studied die, you could get away with that. Yeah, it needs to be... Yeah, I would say add the d6 in there, too. I would say actually do that. Because if that's the way that people are going to be looking at, aha, if I spin the study die, I'd like to roll it with it as well. I think you can still do that and get away with it. Especially because, like, this is a feature that, at this point, is just basically once per shift, you get an extra 1 mana. Yeah, you see what I mean? If it's still capped by the fact that the maximum to be spent is equal to XYZ thing, that is still once per shift. You get a pretty beefy casting. That's pretty cool. When you take the cast action, you can transmute non-magical objects that fit within the area of effect of the cast into another object of equal or lesser value. This... I don't like this without a couple of different writers. This shouldn't be able to be done as an action. You being able to do this and change something's equipment that it's wearing or carrying or something like that. I do like the fact that this means that you can't, like, upgrade something's armor instantaneously. I should have access now. Oh. I mean, I'm dropping that. Wait, that's why I'm dropping the VOD here. you got better than text. You got the VOD right here. You know. You take the cast action. You can transmute. I think that this is not super healthy. I would recommend that this is essentially a ritual. The kind of thing that's limited to where, like, you can do this once every 10 minutes. Oh, wait, non-magical objects. Okay, yeah, it doesn't cover relics now. Good. Okay. Yeah, I do think that the time on this should be different. If you're able to just change the fact that, like, hey, this guy has a sword, now he has a spoon, I'd be a bit worried about that without... Yeah, this is also, there's no cast check on here. So there's no possible failure to it. Yeah, I'd be too worried about this as an action. I would be way too worried about it as an action. If it's the kind of thing that you want to keep in there because that's what people really want out of, like, the Edward, you know, Elric style Full Metal Alchemist, I would say do this. But, like, I've already kind of baked this into the, what is it, the Scrapper's Delight ritual or whatever that was. If you do that ritual and make that the thing that they get, like, them getting deft hands And being able to craft or scrap as an item as a use action is good. Something makes me feel like this should also be the magic action. Being able to scrap an item like that. Yeah. You still need to make it an AoE effect? I mean, if it fits into the... Okay, so you're saying that because it's an AoE... I think my thought process here is, because you're saying it's an AoE, that means that it always has to be a slightly expensive delivery? How expensive is AoE? At least 1 or 2 mana. I did limit it before to an object. I would say it needs to be one single object. Yes. For the sake of making sure that the game still runs like smoothly. Because if this is like, I want to change all of these things that are in here. It's kind of asking a bit much. Flask Fantasia. When you craft, you can reduce your max HP to etch your life into an object or a being's corpse you touch. Your max HP. Oh. To etch your life into an object or a being's corpse you can touch. This reduction ends when it dies. It is transmuted into a hireling using the stats of an artificial with hit dice no higher than your Maven level, or its former stat block with the following changes. It uses your craft for checks and saves. Okay, so other than editing on this, because I think that you could probably just do... It uses its stats with hit dice no higher than your Maven level. But it uses your craft for checks and saves, and it uses your craft for checks and saves. You probably don't have to have that as a bullet right here. It is an artificial. You don't have to have a hireling right there. So like this is essentially you are turning into a necromancer artificer kind of a deal. When you craft, you can reduce your max HP 4 times its hit dice. So you reduce your max HP by 4 for each of the hit dice of the creature you are trying to make. Okay. Okay. I'm not 100% on that conversion. I'm not 100% on that conversion. I do worry that this is... I think that they should limit it to where you only have one. You being able to do this reduction and just crap out a miniature army like that. I don't know that that's really the expected class fantasy for the concept. I mean, this is like, as far as I can think of, this is creating Homunculus from Full Metal Alchemist. So I don't know that that's always the thing that people are really thinking of, though, for I want to play Edward Elric, right? Or Mickey Mouse from Fantasia. Whenever I'm thinking of like Mickey Mouse and Fantasia, I am thinking Transmutation Wizard now. If I want to bring these things to life, like animating objects, I can see how this is kind of coming across. But I think there's spells that do this already. Like, I think that you could get this earlier through things like, oh god, am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure there's already... Wait, yeah, animate. Yeah, animate's already a thing, isn't it? Did I delete that? Hang on. It's very wise though. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know anything about Ruby. Yeah, you animate an object. Yeah. It gains a fly speed and obeys your commands. It's a weapon you can make attacks with it. Okay, so animate only really works in the sense of it's still the object, and it's still only one slot. Is there a reason why it wouldn't just be that? Wise's kid is a little bit more disjointed thematically. Oh. Ruby is a little disjointed thematically. But it's to give them range outside of animate/raise. I think the thing that you would have brought up to you as somebody who has had a shitload of questions brought up to me about like kind of questioning why I wrote a thing this way would be, why isn't this just animate? Or like, why wouldn't I just get animate at first level and then this feels like this feature doesn't really do much for me? You know what I mean? Wait, hang on, you're using craft for, yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of my thought right there. You can make animated armor. I mean, is there any reason why that wouldn't just key off of the animate spell? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where I'm at with this right here. Is like, we have a spell in the game that we know functions like pretty well. And if you wanted to make that to where you use it with your max hit points, or if you had the spell components up here, right, you can spend hit points to provide mana for the cast. Well, wait, we've already got that with Sorcerer. Yeah, we got the Blood Mage thing happening over there. I really think this needs Forge. Like, if you're talking about having it be this... You know what I mean? Like, I think it's expected... Like, it's okay for this thing to have, like, Forge and Mend. As, like, these are the two spells it must always have. Right? Animate is limited to a slot 1 item. Slot 1 is portable items, right? Yeah, but, I mean, so then you say, like, right here... Up it to... Whenever you cast it, you can also... affect 2 slot items or armor, right? Like, there's your natural, like, okay, this one is slightly better at it because it does a slight oomph like that, you know? If that's the intended fantasy, and you're like, if it's, what's the power in this, and it's, oh, you can animate armor, okay, then make the animate spell animate the armor, right? It's, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, I try to figure out ways to do the same mechanic with less words and give it more, you know, modularity. You kept hearing Forge was redundant? What? How? Because of what? Forge was redundant with what? You do wonder how much the design is there to support the specific example character rather than a more general fantasy. That's kind of my thing, is I try to aim more broad like that. If I'm thinking of like a transmuter, geez, I got there, all right. If I'm trying to think of a transmuter, I'm not... Like, I think that Edward Elric, it is fair to say that of all transmuters, I think Edward Elric is like the most famous. And I think that if you're going with, like, if you're going to go with a class to appeal to a more broad fantasy, I would call it a transmuter instead of a maven. You do wonder how much of the design is there to support the specific example character. Or wait, yeah, buffing animate could be neat, like Druid buffs polymorph. Yeah, exactly, right? That's kind of what I think is, I'm like, let that other mechanic carry a bit of the class text for you, so that way you can keep the classes simple, you know. That's kind of my thought there. Alkahestry, when you cast Mend, you can heal a target being you can touch for D8 hit points, or in one status affecting it per 5 materials that you can provide. Now that is still only affecting artificials, right? So blood magic is your version of spontaneous casting? What? Huh? Non-relics in the area are repaired for your turns for the duration. Right. For one slot of the items repaired, this spell can reassemble a broken item. If the pieces of it are held together during the casting, the spell also functions like a life spell, but only for artificials. So what's the... You did that before, but since you can make permanent items, it felt a bit redundant. It felt redundant. Wait, you did making it to where Mend worked on non... See, that to me is like not anything you can touch. Okay, so it felt redundant because you can make permanent items. I'm not super sure. I'm not super sure what that's getting across. So my thought... I'm trying to look for something that scales up. I'm trying to look for a couple different things. Number one, something that scales up that isn't just the amount of mana you can spend on this. Because so far I haven't seen a thing that really scales up. I guess half your Maven level that makes this scale up. But I don't really think that this is a... I don't really know that this feels super core. Especially because the way for me to make this better is to go take the Bookworm perk, which we don't get at first level for free. I think that this is nice and that this is here as like an operational thing for this, but I don't know that this is really churning with the rest of the class, right? I thought that you said blood magic was sorcery. Oh, sorcerer in Vagabond has a feature called Tap that allows them to use they can reduce their maximum hit points to cast spells with like mana and shit. Yeah. So yeah, I guess blood magic is kind of that direction. No, with craft/crap, either use. Oh, because you can like make the item up here. This is why. See, this is why for the artificer, it's... Can I hop on a call? It's a lot to type out. I mean, if you're comfortable being on stream, yeah. Is your mic gonna like absolutely destroy chat's ears? Here, I'll let me hop in on the... Here, I'm over in the Vagabond Discord. I'm on the general channel. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Yada. You hope not.
Yo.
Hey, all right. So what's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much.
So what? I guess what were you trying to explain?
Oh, right. So I asked a few people, like a few folks in the Discord, about like their thoughts before posting it yet in Homebrew. And a lot of the feedback I got back was like that Forge was like kind of redundant with like the ability to just make permanent items.
Yeah. Well, but that's the deal. It's like I wouldn't just allow this to be that general, right? Forge would be really good if this wasn't just because here's the deal why I personally would reel this back is that arcane alchemy is objectively better than what the alchemist can do. It is like this is you cover every item in the game, you know, and like
fair. You know, the reason why I was like kind of fine with it in its current state was because that you still had to like expend the materials to do so and hold on to it and still like carry that with you.
Well, so does the alchemist.
Well, they get their items at a discount. That's why.
I like, yeah, sure. I guess that's fair. So wait, what about this says that you have to continue to carry the items with you?
Well, you have to have the items on you when you make the stuff. So
Okay.
One gold worth of materials takes up one item slot.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, so scrapping it that cheap or scrapping it that quickly is something I'm like, I'm not sure. I haven't really tested that. So
essentially what I saw it as is that you can take an item, see that what it's worth, scrap it, and if you scrap it for materials, that's just going to take up your item slots.
Right. But I think if you're able to blow it on other stuff really quick, the one thing I kind of worry about is that this, the thing I worry about with any kind of crafter based class is that the class tends to move into this area of feeling like an inventory management simulator, and like that might be interesting for that person to do, but for everyone else at the table, this becomes the most obnoxious thing ever, right? Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I want to avoid.
Yeah, so like instead of making it to where like this person is constantly kind of swapping out kind of whatever's happening in their inventory, and like it's they're managing specific slots. Like this is part of why the merchant gets extra slots. Like they don't really have to worry about what all they're dropping or what all they keep, whatever. They're getting more stuff to keep expanding and not have to think about it.
I have another class called the Engineer that works very similarly. That does that, but actually has like the pack mule perk built into it. So that. So do you think? Because my initial design, like the beta 1 on it, was basically like you can cast Forge, and like if you crit on the cast check, the items become permanent. That's like a crit effect, but then I remember, right, you're never really going to be making a cast check on Forge.
Yeah. Well, and if that was the case, they were just going to keep trying to roll it outside of combat until they got the win,
I mean, but then again, I also felt the same, like, I feel like that kind of enters into the realm of, like, the same thing with, like, Eureka, of, like, people trying to game to get more study die.
Yeah, but so there was a reason why, wait, so hang on, let me take a look. You were saying Eureka trying to game it to get more study die. What were they doing?
Well, I'm not saying that people were. I haven't seen that, but like
when you crit on a craft check. So
yeah,
this is the kind of thing where like, are they doing this outside of combat? What are they doing to make the craft check? Right? Because the way that it works in Vagabond, crafting is not a craft check. The only time you're making a craft check with an alchemist is to make an attack. Like, now if they're like doing this outside of combat, like, I guess I'm trying to think of like, are they like, how much is this pen worth? Oh, better make a craft check to appraise it. And I'm like, I guess it takes you 10 minutes, like to me, that's like, there's a time investment there, right? We're like, that's with appraising, it'll be like, okay, that's going to be 10 minutes of you like literally looking over this pen to see how expensive it is. And then, you didn't get your 5% chance of rolling a crit. Dang, like,
so would you, because that is one of the things that I wanted them to be able to create permanent items. But it like has to come at some form of cost. And I thought that the materials would be enough, but like I'm not so sure. So like if I were to add like Forge, would that be a good effect? Is like if you like spend enough mana on it?
I think you could make it okay, so like if that was a unique thing for this, where like, I mean, pretty clearly to me, like you want more of the Edward Elric style concept more than anything else. And whenever I think about that, I'm thinking about like, oh, I've got this pocket knife and now I need it to become what's it's something of value. Oh my God, Taron, think of something, and literally anything. A woman. Yeah, this is now going to become a pen, right?
A spear.
Yeah. I was trying to think of that Billy on the Streets skit where, have you seen that? He's like, name a woman, any woman, like, and they're like, I can't do it. Oh my God, what?
when you get put on the spot like that, your brain just like blue screens very like
yeah. I am really not helping the misogyny allegations, but yeah. So like, if I were gonna do this, like that to me is already a really cool fantasy character, like you know, and the other thing I'm kind of looking at whenever I think this is like, what sort of archetype are you leaning into with it? Is it an expert? Is it a mage? Is it both?
Kind of both. Like,
so a little bit of like the wizard vibe.
Like if I were going to say like to like mix into a concoction, like these, like the three classes that like got poured into this are like wizard, alchemist, and magus, but I'm trying to balance that out.
Okay. So then, you've already got so the 4 spells, you've got 4 others. Okay, at this point, I would just say, so if it's an expert, you open this up to any spells of their choice or any skills of their choice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was making it just for like to limit it to like still keep it. I thought that was a form of balance, but if that's not the case, then that's fine.
Yeah, so you have a lot of it going for it already right now. I would say that it's also there's a lot of things it's doing that is just kind of like, number 1, straight up better than the alchemist. Number 2, I don't know that I would say straight up better than the wizard, but it does things that are
I was hoping since it didn't have mana, it would be like slightly off kilter.
But without a maximum mana like threshold, it's objectively better.
Yeah, I need to add that in, definitely.
Yeah.
The original thing of equivalent exchange had it to where you can spend luck to gain a studied die.
Okay.
And
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and that allowed you to use the studied die to be spent 4 mana. But I thought that was too clunky potentially too clunky for tracking, but
well, I mean, why not allow at that point? It would be like, why not allow the luck to be spent for the mana too, right? Like,
yeah,
if we're talking about reducing our, operations, I guess is what I would think, right?
So,
how does one get on class review? This was literally just me trying, like, me saying a rando, like, "Yo, we're doing this, all right." And Onyx was just the first one that pinged me on Discord about it.
A maximum mana spent. When you focus on cast a spell, the maximum amount.
Yeah, and that's I would just follow the same guidelines as the others,
Yeah.
Logic, Logic plus Maven level. So is the name from Ruby?
No, actually, because like since Alchemist was taken, I was like, okay, I need to come up with another name for this.
Gotcha.
Let me think, and I was like, and I remember that like Meister was technically like a similar definition to Maven, but I was like, I don't want people to think that this is a soul leader, so.
Okay. Yeah, like
Transmuter does work.
I mean, classically, if you're going for like, what is generic fantasy, Transmuter is Edward Elric. Like that is, I know a lot of people are like, well, Alchemist, and I'm like, no, he's a transmutation wizard. Like Alchemist has been something for centuries, and then suddenly Full Metal Alchemist came along, and everybody was suddenly like, that's what alchemy is,
Like that's why it's like this is a more magical this, yeah, like I said, it's Alchemist's magical cousin.
Yeah. Yeah. A maker. If I, yeah, I need to go make real quick.
Maker felt too, I don't know, off to me.
Yeah. If it's just transmuter, like that's people know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a very, very common, like, yeah. Okay.
Also, the reason why Weiss is in there is because since she uses dust to cast magic, that's what the materials would basically be tantamount for you.
Okay. I think, here, let me, all right, now
Plus
I gotta...
also the ice golem that you can make later on. That you can flavor like that.
Who is Weishni? Okay. Oh, this chick. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen...
Before I even had Deft Hands, I had Cypher Mage in there to like get the whole transmutation circles.
Yeah.
Slash all that deal, and then that got nixed, and I was like, well, I gotta find another way.
When you cast Min, you can heal a target being you can touch for 8 d8 hit points, or in one status affecting it for 5 hit point 5 SM materials you can provide.
So basically, that is expanding out men to any being you can touch, and for both artificials and the being you can touch, you can spend your materials to also end statuses on them.
Yeah. So it depends on the role that you want this to occupy.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I would recommend doing is I like to try and figure out where I can simplify ideas and build off of something that came earlier, because kind of the vibe I'm getting right now is the features don't really feel like they're building off of each other. I kind of feel like I've got a little bit of Jackson Pollock painting happening where it's like, here's an idea right here. Here's an idea right here. Right. And it feels like this all comes from like different inspirations from it. And what I like to do is once I get to that point where I do have the inspirations on the page, I try to reel that back in and like centralize it around what's the thing that feels so definitionally core to the idea that this has to be in here. Right?
Yeah.
You just saw folks in the general chat and you were like, what's going on? You check the channel and boom, there's a stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I typically do stuff like this through like a private chat kind of a thing, but you know, because I have no control over who can just get in here and yeah, but now that I've said that, people definitely will get in here and just randomly say shit. But yeah, so I
mean, if you want, you can just like pull me into a chat.
No, this is okay, and we're fine. Okay, so what I would try to do is look for something that came earlier and build off of that.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for a lot of my stuff. But now I can kind of see like the whole trying to loop them back into each other. Do you think I should replace like Arcane Alchemy? Should I just replace that with like a better use case for Forge? Or is that it, or do you think that because I wanted to keep it also just keep it simple?
I mean, so the thing is you're giving them on-demand craft, and it's any item they want to make, which is it's insanely good. We need stream notification back then. I brought that up earlier. I got people complaining to me about pinging them on Discord about stream notifications. So the only thing I can really do is tell people like, please go ring the bell here on YouTube, because that seems to be like the only thing that's not pissing people off. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. Okay, so there's that. I would try to establish something in the first level that will scale later. You do have the spell component, so that's probably fine. You do have the limit, so logic plus your Maven level would work out. Having this at second level with the equivalent exchange thing. To me, Equivalent exchange is a very physical thing, and this is a very mental thing.
Yeah. Like, at least in my head, it's exchanging a resource for another.
Right.
Because technically you can already just do that with the physical items, like a level previously. Because whilst you'll need more material to do it, you could technically just scrap an item and make it into scrap an item, use more materials, make it into a different item. And with Full Metal Arcanist, you can you should add a there. Whoops. A non-magical object that fits with. Yep, there we go. That one you can literally just, if you so chose, switch.
Here's the freebie I'll throw your way. Give it Forge there as the equivalent exchange thing, right? So they get the Forge, and God, what would it? If you use physical, for you, if you use materials rather than mana for the casting, the item is permanent.
Okay. That's actually a way to do that. Yeah, and I think, I'm probably going to get rid of the former stat block / corpse thing.
Because, I mean, if you do it like this, you have it tied into the, like, you have it tied in to, I mean, the fantasy of it. Okay, here's the spell, boom. Here's how I do the thing. Here's how I make the items. If I use it with the materials, I can turn the materials into this item over here. You can also do, like, because this is an action, you might do a thing where you say, if you spend 10 minutes on the casting, like, we say as a ritual or something, the item can be 2 slots or less. And that can get you or like 3 slots or less, and that can be how you get your armor that you want to manifest. Bell hath been rung though. You can make a roll in the server called Stream Noti, and then tag that roll when you go live. Yeah, I tried that too. Nobody put it on. Like, that was the thing, is like we trust me, we've tried this kind of stuff. I brought in another moderator to help out with programming that. So we will be working on more stream like integration for that stuff. But yeah. So yeah, I think, like, trying to pick the role that it wants to be and stick with it, that's at least the kind of way that I think about how classes are designed with Vagabond, because it feels like suddenly getting a healing feature here at 8th level, where, like, it didn't have healing before, feels a little bit odd. And, like, this could also be a discount as to how much mana they need to spend, or how many materials they have to spend per mana.
Oh, I thought that would be too broken, but if that, I mean, I'd be willing to do that.
I mean, even
I could just streamline it and just make it drop the. If that wouldn't be like too busted, I could drop the spell components down to the 5 silver.
That's too far.
Okay.
I mean, so this is what they have on hand. And I'm going to estimate that they most likely have a bag of holding by now, because, like, yeah, of course. Right. So I would say that so this 25S is a slot, right? Did I forgot what I wrote that down as.
That's essentially because I picked 25 silver because you start off with 1 gold of material. If you start off with 1 gold of materials, you essentially have 4 mana.
Right. But yeah. So the 1 gold of materials, I need to probably write that down, that like 1 gold of materials is roughly equivalent to a slot. And that would be your balancing metric right there. However, trying to balance around how much stuff you can hold in a game where, okay, well, you guys can hold these materials for me and I can do this stuff. Everyone take a bag of holding that I'm going to make and then store my materials over there. And then whenever I really need to pop off a spell, I'm just going to do that. I mean, you could say that the materials need to be held in hand.
Yeah, materials you're carrying.
And that hardcore limits it to where, like, the mana spent on it. I mean, but see, so people are going to read materials you're carrying. I would say that the materials need to be in hand. And that means that you can hold no more than like 2 gold worth of materials at one point, right? Because they're both like one slot, you know?
And okay, so then where would I put? Where would I put the? Because I still want to. Should I just still put it like within the rafting feature, or maybe I should just replace. Maybe I should just replace Alcastery in general with the ability to spend study die on it.
Yeah, I would start taking a look at it like that, and then maybe look at the mana discount. Like, here's the deal: even if you were to do 20 silver per mana, you're still talking about per like slot 5 mana compared to 4 mana, and that's like per handful of materials. That's actually really nice. Like, you're talking about 66 damage rather than 5d6, but like that's on a handful of materials, you know, just and they're expended or something.
Okay.
They would be expended. The fact that you have the limiter here, if somebody's going to go around and like scrap a bunch of stuff and then they're going to carry the materials around, I think it's more so you have to consider how big is their might score.
Yeah, that's also why I had listed like might is a potential key stat for this class. Because you're gonna most likely want to be carrying a lot of shit if you want to try to like get the most out of it.
Yeah. The difference between 8 and 10 mana, which isn't small. Yeah, it's a pretty beefy thing.
Okay. So, do you think that's a comfortable thing to come at 8th level, like a mana discount, and you can now spend study die to get like a bigger boom of casting?
No. I think you just need to do the discount.
Okay.
Dude, like, for real, that discount is big.
Then I also would need to change the capstone.
When you spend a study die, roll a d10. If the result is equal to or lower than your logic, the study die is not spent. Okay. Equal to or lower at your logic. Okay. Yeah. You could do. I mean, because that's kind of riffing off of the merchant, right? For hedge risk or something, if I remember right.
It's a mixture of both things. I got the wording initially actually from the druid's capstone, but instead of like being reset to 1 hit point, you just don't expend the resource. But then I also use the use cases of both rogue and merchant.
I do like this as an idea. I don't know that this is the class for it.
Yeah, especially if I'm no longer using the study die now.
Yeah. And like, again, you don't have to take my suggestions here. Like, that's part of the console, you know?
If it makes it like this is my entire thing. I want to make it similar and more in line with the game. And there's also I have multiple just kind of classes just kind of on the back burner. But the reason why I picked this one in specific is because it kind of nudges up against other classes. So I'm like, I want it to like sit comfortably without like stepping on toes potentially.
Sure. Yeah, I think the thing is, so as far as all the other crafting classes go, Something that's just allowing you to get generally, like, you can craft any item with the use action is probably going to be too good. Although I think even still with like the merchant still has a specific kind of list. Like they are kind of stuck with that inventory in a way.
Okay.
The alchemist is also stuck with a list. And I think you just opening this up to where it's that broad. Wait, I guess to Onyx or anybody in chat, did Edward ever make food or a consumable with transmutation magic?
Food has been made with alchemy, but apparently it tastes like shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it has to have a downside, right? Like, like there has to be a reason why they didn't just solve world hunger.
That's also just because the government literally.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't made it all the way through the series, but I was like, yeah, I just remember there was a lot of bullshit that happened in that world too.
Yeah, like the government literally says like you cannot use alchemy unless state sanctioned, and especially if you make gold, they will come after your ass.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So, kind of my thoughts on that are like, I would.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to change that to forge. 2 of which must always be forge. Well, yeah. Yeah. Actually, no. It would only be 1 now since I got rid of the whole alchemy thing.
Yeah, if you're not going to go with mend, I would say just do the forge thing over here. And like, here's the other big deal. You learn 4 spells over here with spellcraft. You gave them melee weapons. Let me double check. Because I thought that's the deal is like if they're going to get training with melee weapons, they can only learn 2 spells.
Okay.
So that's part of the trade-off.
Okay, that's the harder use case for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I thought I was limiting for the skills of like if I limit the amount of skills that they can learn, that could be allowed. But if that's the case, then yeah.
No, the way I kind of view it is like a weapons training is roughly equivalent to the power of having 2 spells.
Got it. Okay.
So all half-casters are only learning 2. Right here, especially because you do the one of which must always be forge. And like the real like fantasy here is in the artificer-esque kind of like, hey, I make stuff. Like, you wish you had a transmute? What?
Huh?
Was it? I was just reading chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? So you learn 2 spells, one of which must always be forge. You learn 1 other spell every 3 Maven levels hereafter. Double check that with the 3 yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I would just say kind of try to look at the Magus and the Revelator as your samples of how the mana should scale. Because this thing should not be able to outpower a wizard or a sorcerer that low. I mean, in theory, a sorcerer can just straight up like nuke themselves and do 9d6 damage, but like that sorcerer's gone. So like
that's kind of the use case that I thought with the whole Flask Fantasia, and that's the reason why I had the conversion rate that high. It's like, sure, you could try to make an army, it will kill you.
Yeah, like you could do that, but like I kind of think that the thing that would work out better for this is going to be kind of lean into the artificer idea, kind of lean into the more of the transmuter. And I would try to embrace that. Let it be like if you have this idea of it being this sort of Gish tinkerer, sort of like an artificer. Wow. Try to focus in on that. Try instead of keeping it broad. I think what you'll find is like stuff gets more modular if you do focus in on a concept, but like still keep your features open, right? Let them still have the choice. Don't force it down their throat. I mean, you do right here with like they have to have Forge. Understandable. That is part of the class fantasy. That has to be there. Getting the 2 spells. They're getting Deft Hands, which is quite good. If they're able to scrap an item with the use action.
So do you think I should just allow them to be able to craft?
No.
Or
scrap.
Or actually, yeah. Can I? Would that be too powerful? Can I just allow them to scrap items?
Scrap an item with the use action. I don't know. Yeah. We'd have to see what people do with it. But yeah, that's actually really fun, and I think
because then you can immediately cast Forge with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this works.
Yeah. There you go. And then I would let me see here. You got that. You got a fun little. You got a fun game loop that's developing right now. So like you can make your weapon if you want to. You've got the items over here. If someone's like, "Holy crap, man! How do we get out of here? We got they took away all our weapons and everything." It's like you're gonna grab some stone from the wall and immediately like make a sword. Like that's where I think this thing's class fantasy is, and that's really cool once you do that. You might even say later on, weapons you make with the Forge spell have a plus count as relics and have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and that can be your scaling thing.
That actually could work.
Yeah. Here you go. Kick this online at 4th level. What I would recommend here, I'm just gonna take this out. Items or weapons you create with Forge have a count as relics with a bonus with the bonus power. There we go. Equal to half your transmuter level.
Boom. With Forge, do you think it would be too much to allow them to also just craft items with the spell?
Can't they already?
It's only weapons, I believe, right? Or is
it just items you create with Forge count as relics with the bonus power equal to half your transmuter level. Have a level. I think that can work. Yeah, you do that to armor. I mean, that's really good with armor. But it only gets it up to a +2 within the reasonable levels of play for Vagabond.
Yeah, because the initial thought I had with the this initial version was like you can like if you had the spell Disintegrate, you can transmute a metal object into a non-metal one and then immediately destroy it.
Yeah, I think you can do that with so like I like the idea of being able to change the material that the object is made out of, but this inevitably always winds up doing a thing where the first people who look at this are going to immediately have nightmares about like, well, I can already tell that like my players are going to try to make everything gold and ruin my economy and yada yada yada. I'm just like, oh god.
That's typically why I said like the whole like, equal or lesser value, because you can't just like something into solid gold.
Yeah, you might even say like this is enough to turn. Yeah, you could turn an item into like steel. Yeah. Like, it can't. God, what's the right thing here? It can't really make an item any more valuable than a steel version of it or something like that. Because I actually have the metals are listed in the core rulebook. So you have something.
That's actually a perfect point. Oh, right, I forgot. Yes, yeah. With this, you can technically make magical metals, and that was never. I forgot about that. That was never the point that this class is supposed to get to. Okay.
Oh, wait, you're right. No, sorry. Jalopsis, no, you're 100% correct. Equal to your transmuter level divided by 4. Wow. Holy crap. Yep. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay. Oh, no, I just, the Full Metal Arcanist thing,
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
yeah.
It has fun.
I gotta let my dogs out. But I hope that's helpful. It should be quarter
yeah.
level. Yeah.
Hopefully, if when you open up submission, I can resubmit this. Hopefully.
Oh yeah. No, totally, man.
So you don't think that with like flash fermentation, it doesn't need the whole checks and saves thing?
Well, it just that can just be part of that last sentence. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that could be part of that last sentence.
Would I put like a colon there, or would that just be like with the following changes, comma?
I don't know why it would need the bulleted list. You can just straight up go like or its former stat block, or its former stat block, period. It uses your craft for checks and saves.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. Well, I need to break for a second to be get the dogs out. So
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one, and I will circle back around with you whenever we do some more consults.
Yes, Ethan. Thank you.
All right, later, Onyx.
Have a good one.
All right, everybody. I will be right back. Hang on. I forgot I had that one up. All right, we're just leaving it. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, I was at the gates. Snakes get my hood low, don't say shit, and on both sides of that bloodlust. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, don't even bother. Rat tail, my backdrops, all black sails. Dog biting my bird curse. Cross-eyed, world's worst. Troglodyte, I might split the blinds. I'm like Vince Van with that instant rights. I write cryptograms at all waking hours. Tattooed the mail and all paper towels. I'm on the kitchen walls. I may paint the house. Could reach the yard, so mega bound. Game face on dour days. Y'all gangs like How Queen. Gangway for that full start. Verse freight trains through stalled cars. Shame, shit so whack. Show you back to this maw jar. Death wish from day one. I wake up and it rain blood. Rain check these fuck shows. I'm donezo. My brain's mush. Drum roll, I might piss straight. Loose tooth in my spit shake. Every possible future rhyme come trooping out of his pill case. And I ricochet in my steel cage. One still heart and two wheels eyes. Few meal bars, a good field knife. I feel good, no field guide. Just deicide by T5. One say the whole glow stick. And like 2 bites, I do this. I mean, yo. I was at the gates. Wolf's head, my boots on. No bullshit and on both sides of that tough love. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, don't even I was at the gates. Snakes getting my hood low. Don't say shit and on both sides of that bloodlust. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, don't even bother. Bare paw, my handshake, oh dear God. Bare bones, few air holes. Barefoot, my square glows. Scarecrows, who goes there and like who's wearing that snare close. Bare hands on his bear trap, what's staring back in his periscope. A little care package at a Where's Waldo in a rare beige. No favorite all, dyed hair and all. Push wood, I go Mach 1, I'm all whoosh whoosh. I don't pussyfoot, I make potholes. My path homes, all drop zones. Flash bulbs and strobe lights. Road signs with crossbones. Touche from our killjoys, you know humanoids are just hit points. Ain't cop that new heat, that new speak, so pink noise. More mood, peace around street food and my PJs and my snowshoes. About dog fights and those dungeons, little dust ups in y'all's throne room. It's fun stuff. Low mo in my tombstone, say hell no. Hell yeah, the more hailstorms and more chips on St. Elmo's. My dream home is like 10,000 deadbolts and less than no windows. I mean, shit. I was at the gates. Wolf's head, my boots on, no bullshit, and on both sides of that tough love. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, don't even I was at the gates. Snakes getting my hood low, don't say shit, and on both sides of that bloodlust. They're both mud, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Straight up and down, don't even bother. Okay, that stream isn't over. No. Wow. All right, I forgot. Oh yeah, we were still trying to figure out what the hell we were gonna do, huh? All right. Okay. So I think tab. Yeah, we went that through one tab character. God, it's fine, but like I just don't really see much of a drastic difference here. And I think like Allegrea regular looks great, but I think we're going to get more mileage out of putting that in medium. There's just a better differentiation. Yeah, that actually looks like there's a difference. Yeah. It got clipped, by the way. What? Did you clip it and post it somewhere? One sec. Cool. All right. Oh, how's it going? Happy? How are we doing? We're good. We're good. We're good. We are. I think. Is this template just one that I would just kind of make to like kind of work with Allegrea? I mean, like, it's a font that's so good, it's very much deserving of that. The greatest of all warriors. Allegrea? Allegrea. Black. I think that's where we go with that. And then... Wait. Huh? Ah. Yeah, that's not bad. It's in Meme Dump. Awesome. Was that just the one where it was like, yeah, say something get canceled. Women? No. Let me see. It's in Meme Dump. There we go. Halfling. What's the one here where we say like, hey, women? No. Because it was like, come up with something that's gonna get you like what called out on Twitter. What's the one here where we say like, hey, women? No. Alright, everybody, I will be right back. Yeah. I forgot forgot I had that one up. All right, we're just. Oh man. Yeah. Thank you so much, Onyx, for volunteering. Absolutely. Okay. And as far as like how to like, am I open to doing paint design consultations for Vagabond? So here's what I'll do. Since I know that like this is a thing that people want, I'm fine to open that up. If people are down for that, I definitely need money to like keep Vagabond moving forward. So I'm fine with doing that.
Dwarf goblins.
I've got to figure out Nerdy Sakura. Hey, welcome. I'm fine with doing that. I've got to figure out a time that's going to really work out. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Be sure to hit me up on just hit my emails and everything. Hey, what up, Gavin? Yeah, happy holidays. Hey, Nerdy Sakura. Hey, welcome. Yeah, if you hit me up on my emails, we can figure something out. Yeah, it tends to be, I'm trying to figure out the pricing structure on how that's going to really turn out. If it's Vagabond, it's a lot easier to just like Vagabond or 5e, that's a whole lot easier. But it always still comes with the same restrictions of like, I'm not going to do consults on your world build. Your world build is like your thing, and I can't like, it tends to be whenever I've done some paid consults in the past, some people wanted me to promote something that they made on my channel and thought that the really clever way of doing that was apparently to hit me up on like and do a something like that. No, that's not going to work. I can sniff that stuff out now. So that's part of why we have some of the rules that are in there about like, yeah. Do you by chance know anything about the Book of Wild Darkness? Yeah. Where's this going? I love it. Hop in the chat and immediately mention the Book of Wild Darkness. I'm like, well, this interaction's how's this interaction gonna go? Yeah, what about it? You want to talk about the cancer mage or something? What? Ooh. Where can we see the rules for what? Vagabond? Oh, for all that stuff for the paid consult. I posted up some stuff about that, but yeah, I'll post about it again. Let's get that to 1.25. God, this song. Oh, wait, we gotta back that up. You have a character who has that item, you're debating casting Simulacrum, but you don't know if the Simulacrum would be tainted or not? I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess ask your GM how they would want to rule that out, or do all that. Let's see here. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Good bullets. Yay. More bullets. Cool. That looks fine. Headers. Yeah, we need to get into the tables here in a second. Okay, so the part headers. These aren't usually going to be visible. Or at least not whenever I typically use them. I typically use these part headers. Yeah, let me turn that down. I typically use these as a formatting thing. right? There we go. Part. Okay, let's go over here. What I'll usually do, and you'll see this with the Vagabond books, is like I'll take the part header because I want this to be a section, like I want this to be a section that's noted in the table of contents, but not really like in the books. Yeah. So sometimes I'll put it up here and drag it up, so that way it's not actually going to print. But whenever it comes to making an interactive PDF, it's going to read that this is actually on this page, and it will put a text anchor to go back over to this page to reference it and everything. So, little InDesign tip. And I just realized. Hey, there we go. Here we go. First part is my character is one of the most good-leaning characters of the party. She only grabbed the skills for our arcane cleric, and of course the DM was like, normally you wouldn't attune to this automatically. For the story, you gotta attune to it without losing any of your attunement slots. I mean, it sounds like your GM has something they very, very have prepared and want to get you sent down, so do it to it, I guess. Is there... I was trying to remember. God, I really think there's a way to do... Yeah. I was like, there is definitely a way to do this as a table. I don't really think I want to, but I don't hate the way that that looks. Hey! You immune to blind, petrification, stun, deafened while you're attuned to it, so part of you likes it. Oh, hi! 6. Yeah, you know, it has those perks. But, you know, they don't call it the Book of Wild Darkness because it's, you know, full of sunshine and rainbows. I know, I hear like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I didn't say hi to him fast enough.
Oh, bud.
I know, I was still putting my purse down, because I come in, and they're, you know, excited, and they're like, you gotta let me come in, you gotta let me come in, they know the rule, I gotta put my jacket and my purse down and all that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, then they can say hi and
Oh,
give
later
me a
to
hug.
Tanya. Also is evil, and so she doesn't...
Oh. What are y'all doing?
What was that? What was
oh,
that?
hi, baby. Oh, they're excited. Mom's home. Hello, what a puppy girl.
What time are we going to dinner?
Baby.
Or I guess whatever meal we're going to.
I don't know. I asked Mom, haven't had her reply yet.
Gotcha.
Let's see if she replied.
Did she?
No, Mother, have you replied?
Oh.
Nay.
But
Which is
Mama.
funny because you know how we say yay or nay for yes and no?
Yeah.
Nay is yes in Korean.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Take my brain a second.
Oh yeah.
What y'all doing?
I was trying to figure that out, honestly. I think I was like, yeah, TTRPG stream, and then we've done like a consult, and I was like, oh yeah, we've set up an InDesign document for something that I have no idea what we're gonna do. So this has been a, you know.
Nice. Well, I'm probably gonna eat some stew and play Minecraft until...
You should, yeah, you gotta tell me how that stew tastes.
I
I made that stew yesterday.
I want some stew from
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
Well,
TMI.
baby gravy.
Look at the baby gravy. What was it, baby batter? Like,
Grody.
Chat says hi, and they posted a bunny.
Hi. That's all I learned how to be a bunny.
Ha!
They don't really make. I mean, I guess they kind of make sounds, but I don't really know what they make.
They scream. Yeah, have you never heard of rabbits scream?
I guess not.
Oh, it's horrifying.
I would imagine so. Most animals screaming is horrifying.
Yeah, it's like
That's some kind of pig bird.
no, it's like literally that's what a rabbit sounds like when they're dying.
That's what it sounds like to
Like,
me.
like
Sounds like a pig bird.
I don't know why I gotta look down to like make that noise. There's like
You can't look chat in the eye. You can't look chat in the
Yeah.
eye into it.
What?
They are just wanting my attention.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hi, big girl. Oh, hi. Ow. Hi.
love you
baby.
some stew. Yeah, I put one in the crock pot last night for 10 hours, and it pretty good. Pretty good.
He makes some pretty good food. Her claws, man. I gotta get them trimmed again.
I know. I'm like, why did you do that to me? I didn't want to share in that pain.
We're supposed to share everything.
No, we're not. You have such a weird concept of what.
Everything.
Okay.
They're becoming the same
Oh my god, no,
person.
we're not. Okay.
I'm gonna go play Minecraft.
Why are you?
Mhm.
Why?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Why would it be a stupid question?
Why wouldn't you play Minecraft? Did they not get fed yet?
Oh, I guess not. That might be why he's upset.
That's probably exactly why.
Yeah, he has been getting more vocal about like, hey,
What?
you haven't fed me yet. Hey, give me that food now. You've never had stew? You've never had stew. You are bound and determined to like be a character in chat, huh? You've never had stew. How have you never had stew? Ooh. Dude, Anomaly is just so fucking good. Header 1. Yeah, how is that just like an experience that never comes up? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like I live in the South, and as a result, stew is just like an ever-present thing here, so yeah. The list of foods you've had is probably less than 20. What? Do you have like an extreme like dietary restriction that's like, hey, I can't, like, if I eat too many grains, I shit fire. Like, what's the, your family eats stew all the time? What? This mystery is like, this mystery is evolving. I kind of want to follow this thread. All right, so if your family eats stew all the time and you've never had stew in your life, what has happened? Do you not, were you born without a mouth? Were you born without a mouth? If you actually were, that's so horrible. Kind of questions you can only really ask somebody online. You're a super taster, so you have a small food palate? You have a small food palate? I thought super tasters' whole big deal was like they taste everything very intensely. Oh, they're just leaving. Where do they want to go for dinner? Oh, well, that could be a... Oh, I have been streaming for 3 hours, apparently.
Well, super tasters, one of two things.
Oh, there is a difference?
Yeah, so you have the kind, like my sister, they have an incredibly strong sense of smell, which is what, like, overdrives their taste buds.
Okay.
And so they either can smell everything, and so they're really picky because they kind of like how dogs don't smell combinations of things, they smell the individual things. It's like somewhat how you could imagine how it is to a super taster. So some of them are really, really picky eaters, but then you have other ones like Jess, who is the same way, but since she can taste everything so well, she loves it all. And so she's like, oh, there's a hint of this here and a hint of that there. So they're either really, really picky, or they're incredible, like, chefs, tasters, whatever. But it's usually because their hyperactive sense of smell, not necessarily their taste buds.
Well.
Yeah, like, it was crazy. Whenever my sister was little, before she could read, she was sitting in the back of the car and she had picked up a piece of paper and smelled it, and she goes, Mom, is this from the doctor's office? And sure as shit. And then, like, one time my mom thought she'd be sneaky and, like, eat a pack of Twizzlers before she picked us up from school, and the empty wrapper is in the car, and Caitlin goes, did you have Twizzlers in here? And she's like,
you fucking demon child!
Right? Crazy. But, did you, probably not, did you see Mom's message?
Yeah, so what,
okay.
Are they wanting to go now?
Sounds like it, maybe?
Okay.
They're just now leaving the...
Would you mind calling her and asking, like, hey, do you want to go now? Like, what's a...
Let's see.
Because if we're going now, that's a... I was gonna say, like, I've been streaming for longer than I actually thought I had been, so, and I'm trying to limit how much I'm streaming. You have 2 times the taste buds on your tongue, as well as certain textures make me say no. Huh? Is this a crockpot discussion again? Basically, yeah. Chili is not a stew. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, no, chili is like, I don't really know what it is. Chili is like a meat sauce, is what I would think. Okay, so it sounds like we might.
Hey, Taron.
Huh?
What place sounds good anywhere that has chicken nuggets? That's what Kennedy wants.
She wants anywhere that has chicken nuggets? Where are they? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I got it.
The one we normally go to?
The theater, yeah.
What theater do we normally go to?
The closer one.
What? The one by Promenade. Okay. So they're right there, and they want to know where we want to go eat, and they want chicken nuggets. They want chicken nuggets. Okay. I guess we can go to, like, Raising Cane's. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like...
Raising Cane's? Have you had that? Yeah.
Cool. Oh. Okay, well, it sounds like I'm going to go have dinner with my niece and nephew and my mom. So, chili is totally a stew. Chat can fight about that and we'll resolve it next stream. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me while I prepare an InDesign document. Oh, boy. Let me see your Allegria. Sure. All right. Have a good one. I will catch you all very, very soon.